Top 10 cards with cool dramatic poses. Originally, when I got the idea for this video for making eHero decks while watching some JoJo, I wanted it to be only 5 cards. But Yu-Gi-Oh! Has so many cards with some of the most badass, overly dramatic poses that I just had to make it a top 10 list instead. Now, to make this video somewhat fair, I'm only going to choose one card from an archetype. Otherwise, there would just be a whole bunch of cards on the list from eHeroes and Inzektors, both of which are based on cheesy superheroes who are all about dramatic poses. First off on this list is the Dark Magician of Illusions. The other Dark Magician cards just don't quite have the pizzazz that this one has. Look at that open-ended jump with his arms spread out with his knees slightly bent, as if he's jumping over a small obstacle, while his blonde, flowing hair follows him effortlessly from behind. It's just beautiful. Number 9 on this list is Constellar Pleiades. In addition to being one of the best Constellar cards, he's also in the coolest pose, pointing out to left field to show that he's confident that he's going to send your cards flying. Number 8 is the Jinzo Anaversary edition. The original Jinzo is just kind of a creepy looking robot standing there, but this one is a mad scientist crossing his arms together, laughing maniacally over turning himself into a cyborg to finally stop trap cards once and for all. Number 7 is Sakuretsu armor. His pose was so cool that it literally killed 2 people. Number 6 is a throw up between Fire Fist Dragon, Buffalo, Bear, and Gorilla. All 4 are the best of its archetype, but none really stand out to me as better than the others. But if one thing is for sure, they sure do know how to pose with their animal familiars. Number 5 is Boggart Knight. Boggart Knight is probably the most metal card there is. Everything about the way he dresses and poses just screams badass. Number 4 is Inzektor EARWIG. Now, all the Inzektors are based on old Sentai heroes, or as they're known in the West, Power Rangers. And if there's one thing Power Rangers are known for, that's striking a cool pose after beating the villain of the day with some ass pull. EARWIG, despite being based on one of the lamest bugs, definitely has the coolest victory pose out of all the Inzektors. Besides maybe Hopper, who's not really in a pose but more in the middle of an action, so he doesn't really count. Now number 3 on this list is a card that seems very little play because he's kinda hard to bring out, but strikes a pose fitting for someone of his caliber. Assault Mode Collasal Fighter. His pose has everything: action, purpose, grandeur, and style. The simple pointing into left field pose used by Pleiades, but with a huge ass jetpack going full throttle just to let you know how giant a Collasal fighter really is. Plus he has some pretty badass screen shades. Number 2 on this list is the Dark Arm Dragon. Out of all the cool dramatic poses, this one probably has the most JoJo pose out of all of them. It's super dramatic. No one in their right mind would stand like that. One arm is up front and center, really showing off his back and shoulders. Plus he's a freaking black dragon covered in steel. You can't get any more metal than that. And finally, number 1 on this list is Elemental Hero Captain Gold. Choosing one hero out of all of the E-heroes was no easy task. I mean, just take a look at Magma. He has a power stance while holding up a giant ball of lava. Or Elemental Hero Shining. He looks like a super robot coming down from the heavens to serve out justice without ever having to uncross his arms. I'm pretty sure most end bosses in video games are modeled after this guy. And I can't forget to mention Nova Master. His armor and stance are the definition of cool, and he looks like he's about to launch an attack. So, why eHero Gold over all the others? Because look at those calf muscles. I bet you could crush diamonds with those legs. No, but seriously, just look at him. The camera angle is at a slant, showing his legs front and center. A good camera angle is everything. Just look at Dark Arm Dragon for the cool poses pulled off, thanks to a perfect camera angle. Next, look at the background. He's on top of a skyscraper at night with the full moon in view. Now look at his pose. He's rocking the shining arms crossed because I just don't care look, while his red cape blows gently in the wind. His whole card artwork makes his pose just work, and I think that's what sets him apart from all the others. And that's it for my top 10 cards with cool dramatic poses. I pulled the entire list mostly from memory, so if you think there are any other badass monsters with cool poses, just let me know in the comments.